That fiery Democratic debate, it was an absolute free-for-all, and taking the stage for the first time, billionaire former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg took some of the toughest hits, especially on his treatment of women.
He fired right back, targeting frontrunner Bernie Sanders on socialism. Everyone was on offense. Elizabeth Warren, the most tweeted about candidate. Mary Bruce is going to start us off in Las Vegas, has the latest for us. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Well, this was a feisty and messy fight. The candidates straight off the bat piling on Michael Bloomberg. But the attacks last night also went in every direction. After playing relatively nice with each other, last night it felt like months of pent-up frustration just poured out onto that debate stage.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg.
From the very first minutes of his debate debut, Michael Bloomberg under blistering attack. The frontrunner, Senator Bernie Sanders, eager to take on the newcomer.
I believe in democratic socialism for working people, not billionaires.
Over and over again, the billionaire pummeled for his record, pressed on allegations he made sexist comments, and then tried to silence the women.
None of them accused me of doing anything other than maybe they didn't like a joke I told. And let me put, there's agreements between two parties that wanted to keep it quiet, and that's up to them.
We are not going to beat Donald Trump with a man who has who knows how many non-disclosure agreements and the drip, drip, drip of stories of women saying they have been harassed and discriminated against. That's not what we do as Democrats.
Mr. Vice President.
Look, let's get something straight here. It's easy. All the mayor has to do is say, you are released from the non-disclosure agreement, period.
Bloomberg tried to explain, but it wasn't enough for his rivals.
Anybody that does anything wrong in our company, we investigate it, and if it's appropriate, they're gone that day. In City Hall, the top person, my deputy mayor, was a woman, and 40% of our commissioners were women.
I hope you heard what his defense was. I've been nice to some women. That just doesn't cut it.
Also a top target, Bloomberg's record as mayor of New York City and the controversial stop and frisk program.
Mr. Bloomberg had policies in New York City of stop and frisk, which went after African-American and Latino people in an outrageous way.
His apology, again, falling flat.
I've asked for forgiveness, but the bottom line is that we stopped too many people. But the policy, we stopped too many people.
It's not whether he apologized or not, it's the policy. The policy was abhorrent.
Bloomberg isn't even on the ballot in Nevada and hasn't won any delegates, but he has already spent a record-breaking $400 million just on campaign ads and argues he's best positioned to beat Trump. But Sanders is surging nationally with a double-digit lead, the two at fundamental odds.
Mike Bloomberg owns more wealth than the bottom 125 million Americans. That's wrong. That's immoral.
It's ridiculous. We're not going to throw out capitalism. We tried that. Other countries tried that. It was called communism, and it just didn't work.
Let's talk about democratic socialism, not communism, Mr. Bloomberg. That's a cheap shot.
The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What'd I miss here?
Bloomberg's campaign is now urging the other candidates to drop out to avoid splitting the moderate vote. But that isn't going over well with Senator Amy Klobuchar.
I've been told many times to wait my turn and to step aside, and I'm not going to do that now.
Mayor Pete Buttigieg warning if it comes down to Sanders, a Democratic socialist, and Bloomberg, a former Republican, voters will feel left behind.
Let's put forward somebody who actually lives and works in a middle-class neighborhood in an industrial Midwestern city. Let's put forward somebody who's actually a Democrat. Look.
With the campaign set to go national on Super Tuesday in just 2 weeks, the urgency apparent in the pitches.
I'm the only one on this stage that's actually got anything done on health care. Okay?
And in the personal attacks, Buttigieg calling out Klobuchar for being unable to name the president of Mexico in an interview earlier this week.
You're literally in part of the committee that's overseeing these things, and we're not able to speak to literally the first thing about the politics of the country to ourselves.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb, or are you mocking me here, Pete?
I'm saying that you shouldn't trivialize that
I made an
knowledge.
error.
Klobuchar firing back.
You've memorized a bunch of talking points and a bunch of things, but I can tell you one thing. What the people of this country want, they want a leader that has the heart for the immigrants of this country, and that is me.
Warren taking them both to task over their health care plan.
Mayor Buttigieg really has a slogan. It's not a plan, it's a PowerPoint. And Amy's plan is even less. It's like a Post-it note. Insert plan here.
I must say I take personal offense since Post-it notes were invented in my state.
Now, overnight, the Bloomberg team responding to the bludgeoning that he received on the stage, saying, quote, "You know you are a winner when you are drawing attacks from all the candidates," saying everyone wanted him to lose his cool. He didn't do it, adding Bloomberg was the grown-up in the room. We will see, of course, if the voters agree.
Right, and he's also trying to roll out some endorsements to try to stop any bleeding.
Yeah, this morning he just announced that he has the support of 3 members of Congress. It's a clear attempt to show that they have some of the muscle of the party behind Bloomberg's race, and also to send the message that he may have some staying power here. George.
Okay, Mary, thanks very much. Bringing our chief White House correspondent, John Carl, for more on this. And John, it really, what a free-for-all last night. But it really seemed like all the candidates on their stage, making calculations for their own reasons, felt they had to stop Mike Bloomberg before he faces voters on Super Tuesday.
No question, George. Bloomberg qualified for the debate at the last minute and only after the DNC changed the rules. But there's no question that he would have been better off if he didn't qualify. But there's only so long that you can hide behind a $400 million ad splurge, a very effective campaign. You have to at some point come out and face questions, face the other candidates, face voters. This was a disastrous performance for Michael Bloomberg. He may still be able to recover. He still has unlimited funds, a very good campaign, but a clear and serious setback.
And another debate coming up next week, but that will come after the Nevada caucuses on Saturday. The early vote already coming in. Coming into the Nevada caucuses, Bernie Sanders is the front runner. He's leading in polls right there. The question coming out of them could be, can any of the Democrats stop him?
Yeah, and look, Elizabeth Warren had a very strong debate performance. So did Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Biden probably had his best debate so far, but well over half the voters in Nevada have likely already voted. There's very little that this debate can do to change the dynamic in Nevada, and time is running out very quickly. If you just looked at the debate, George, you might think it would come down to Buttigieg and Warren, but the bottom line is nothing is stopping Sanders' march towards through these primaries, slow and steady.
Not right now. We'll be looking at the caucuses on Saturday. John Carl, thanks very much.